There's a specific person that you've got to get out of your life right now. It's the person that wants to remind you of who you were.
Listen up, because what I'm about to share with you will completely shift how you understand relationships and power dynamics. Most men think they know what hurts a woman when she doesn't value them. They assume it's anger, arguments, or dramatic exits. But they're dead wrong. The truth that will shake you to your core is this. When a woman doesn't value you, what destroys her most isn't your reaction at all. It's your complete lack of need for her validation. It's watching you become untouchable while she expected you to crumble. Think about this for a moment. Society has programmed men to believe that pouring everything into a woman will automatically earn her respect. You give attention, loyalty, emotional support, money, time. Yet somehow the more you give, the less she values you. Why do good men get discarded while players get chased? The answer will make you uncomfortable. Women don't treasure what's handed to them freely. They value what requires effort to obtain. When you make yourself constantly available, always picking up calls, canceling plans for her, never saying no, you signal something devastating. I have nothing better going on. This creates a toxic cycle. She pulls back. You chase harder. She disrespects you. You try to prove yourself. Each desperate attempt only confirms her belief that she made the right choice to devalue you. You become invisible not because you lack worth, but because you handed your power away. But here's where everything changes. The moment you stop needing her approval, stop making her the center of your universe, stop explaining yourself endlessly, something powerful happens. She feels irrelevant. And for someone who expected you to always orbit around her, that irrelevance cuts deeper than any argument ever could. Picture this scenario. A woman gradually loses respect for a man. She ignores his messages, mocks his ambitions, compares him to other men. Instead of walking away, he doubles down. More gifts, more calls, more desperation. What happens? She pulls back further because his neediness proves she holds all the cards. Now imagine the same situation with a different response. Instead of chasing, he steps back. He doesn't stop caring, but he stops making himself too available. He focuses on his fitness, his goals, his friends. He becomes a man with direction and purpose. Suddenly, she notices his absence. She wonders why he's not pursuing anymore. Who has his attention now? That shift is nuclear because it forces her to confront reality. She's no longer the center of his world. The constant validation she took for granted has vanished. And if she didn't value him before, this powerlessness burns even deeper, because she assumed she had permanent control. Your silence becomes more powerful than any words you could speak. When she expects dramatic confrontations and gets calm indifference instead, she's forced to sit with her own behavior. There's nothing to deflect onto you, no overreactions to justify her treatment, just the mirror of her actions staring back at her. Silence removes the fuel she needs to maintain control. Every time you used to argue, explain, or demand recognition, you proved she still commanded your emotions. But when you meet disrespect with strategic silence, the entire dynamic crumbles. She can't push buttons you've removed. She can't manipulate emotions you've learned to control. Most men confuse this silence with weakness, but it requires tremendous strength. It takes discipline to hold back words when your pride is wounded. Yet that discipline separates strong men from desperate ones. Desperate men try to argue their way into respect. Strong men let their silence protect their dignity. This isn't about playing games or seeking revenge. It's about recognizing that your peace matters more than her understanding. Some battles don't deserve your energy. Some people aren't worth the explanation. When you reach this level of self-respect, you stop bleeding energy into conflicts and start building strength from within. Here's what really shatters her expectations. You start living like her absence doesn't affect you. Not as performance, but as genuine reality. You develop routines that build your future. You invest in friendships that add value. You pursue goals that excite you. Your happiness stops depending on her mood or attention. This transformation isn't about making her jealous. It's about making yourself complete. When you no longer need external validation to feel worthy, you become magnetic in ways that can't be manufactured. People notice authentic confidence. They respect boundaries that aren't negotiable. She watches this evolution with growing discomfort. The man she thought would wait forever has moved forward. The validation she could always count on has disappeared. The emotional reactions she could trigger no longer exist. You've outgrown the space she left you in. What destroys her isn't your anger or your absence. It's your indifference. It's seeing you genuinely happy without her involvement. It's realizing she was never as important as she believed. While she expected you to stay stuck replaying memories, you built new experiences that don't include her. This is where most men get it wrong. They think closure comes from her acknowledgement or apology. But real closure is internal. It's when you stop needing her to understand your worth because you've remembered it yourself. It's when her opinion becomes irrelevant to your peace. Your growth becomes her reminder of what she missed. Not because you're trying to hurt her, but because you've become someone she no longer recognizes. The desperate man who once chased her validation has been replaced by someone who values his own time and energy too much to waste it on people who don't appreciate it. When you truly outgrow someone, you don't need to announce it. They feel it in your energy, see it in your choices, witness it in your progress. You're no longer available for emotional manipulation because you've learned what healthy relationships actually look like. This creates a profound shift in how you approach all relationships. You stop tolerating disrespect because you're comfortable being alone. You stop explaining yourself to people who've already decided not to understand. You stop making yourself small to make others comfortable. The woman who didn't value you expected noise when you left. She expected drama, public breakdowns, desperate attempts to win her back. What she got instead was your peaceful departure and subsequent elevation. That silence, that growth, that transformation speaks louder than any speech you could have given. Years later, when she looks back, she'll remember not what you said, but who you became. She'll realize she didn't lose an argument with you. She lost access to the man you evolved into, and that realization stings because it's permanent. Your new standard becomes simple. If someone doesn't value your presence, they don't deserve access to your energy. You're no longer interested in convincing anyone of your worth. You're too busy demonstrating it through your choices, your growth, your peace. This isn't about becoming cold or heartless. It's about becoming discerning. It's about understanding that love without respect is just emotional chaos. It's about refusing to participate in relationships where you have to minimize yourself to be accepted. The most powerful thing you can do when someone doesn't value you is to stop giving them opportunities to prove it. Remove yourself from situations where you're not appreciated. Invest your energy in people and activities that reciprocate your effort. Build a life so fulfilling that their absence becomes irrelevant. When you reach this level of self-respect, something beautiful happens. You attract people who naturally value what you bring to their lives. You don't have to convince them, perform for them, or diminish yourself for their comfort. They see your worth because you've never forgotten it. The woman who didn't value you will eventually understand what she lost. But by then, you'll be too far ahead to care. You'll have built relationships based on mutual respect and shared growth. You'll have created a life that doesn't need her validation to be complete. This is your invitation to stop settling for crumbs when you deserve the whole meal. Stop explaining yourself to people who've chosen not to listen. Stop making yourself available to those who treat your time as disposable. Your worth was never in question. You just forgot it temporarily. Now that you remember, protect it fiercely. Use it wisely. Share it only with those who recognize and reciprocate its value. That's not selfishness. That's self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of every healthy relationship you'll ever have. The choice is yours. Stay stuck hoping she'll change, or start changing yourself. One path leads to more of the same pain. The other leads to the life you actually deserve.